Hey, what's up, everybody? Cameron Hemphill here, your host for Medical Millionaire. Hey, guys, thank you so much for taking the time to tune into the podcast. Our goal is to give incredible value and insight for practice owners. So if you own a medical aesthetics practice or you're thinking about opening up a med spa, this podcast, it's 100% designed for you and to help you take your practice to the next level. So, guys, today, I actually have a team member on the call with me, a gentleman that I've worked with for several years, a gentleman that has worked with thousands of practice owners and has helped them achieve success by effectively running ad campaigns. What I'm talking about is pay-per-click ads on Google, ads on Facebook, ads on Instagram, ads on TikTok. This guy is the scientist. He's the mastermind. He knows how to tie an attribution to EMRs, CRMs. He knows very clearly what success looks like and how to avoid failures. I hear all the time that people struggle with their ads. They struggle understanding their conversion rates. They wonder, is it worth it? Does it make sense to run ads? So for that being said, guys, I want to welcome Daemien Patton to the show. This guy's incredible. Daemien, thank you so much. Hopefully that intro was suffice for you, my man.
Yeah, sounds good. Glad to be here. Thanks, Cameron.
You bet, my man. Hey, dude, thanks for joining me. I know that you're super busy, working with so many accounts. I know that you're on the phone and in meetings with Facebook and Google all the time and connecting all the dots. But like the first thing I want to jump into is, since you've worked with so many practice owners and you've learned so much over your career, like talk to us exactly what the playbook is. So if I'm a practice owner and I am thinking about running ads, or maybe I've ran ads and I didn't have success, right? Like I hear that all the time. What is the playbook? Like when you look at a medical aesthetics practice, what is going to put them in a position to be set up for success? Now, I don't care if we're talking about paid social or paid Google. I want you to touch on both of those components. But what is the ultimate playbook that sets a practice up for success? And you can talk about ad copy. We can talk about attribution. We can talk following up with your leads, actually taking action. Like let's jump into it, man. I'm super excited to get started.
Yeah, I would say one of the most important things and what separates successful practices from ones that are struggling is really like their processes and the systems that they have in place, right? You can have the best ads in the world generating you leads and giving you phone calls and getting people to, interact with your website and your business itself. But if you don't have those systems and processes in place or the tools to help you, leverage your time to make that process efficient, then you're just going to really struggle, right? And like, what am I talking about? I'm talking about, having follow-up process and note taking and things like that. So like when leads are going into your CRM or into your EMR system, like how quickly are you following up with those people? And have you trained your staff or even yourself, if you're a single provider trying to run your business, on sales? Because at the end of the day, like it's a business, right? And when you get somebody on the phone or you're interacting with a potential client, you have to sell them on your business and why they should come to you, right? Give them that educational piece, give them your credentials, tell them the value of them coming to you and not just any other med spa that's right around the corner, right? You need to separate yourself as well in the market. And I think it's super, super important and where a lot of people struggle.
Yeah, I totally agree. I see time and time again where practice owners they'll like boost a post on Facebook or Instagram and want to call that marketing or ad dollars spent, which I think there's some success to it, but it's really hard to get an ROI and create a follow-up process, right? I'll see other practice owners that they'll invest more capital. Maybe they'll run an effective campaign on Facebook. They'll take the time to spin up a great video that's organic about their offer. They have a good offer. Maybe they have a good landing page. Maybe they apply the right dollar spent based on demographic and population. But and then all of a sudden you're like, well, what's happening when the leads are coming in and you hear crickets? This is quite a common theme.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
so for the audience and the practice owner, like if you're going to spend ad dollars, make sure you have a systematic solution to follow up, right?
Yes, absolutely. Because otherwise you're just like spending money. I mean, you can't just like spend money and expect like, oh, but I'm spending $2,000 a month. I'm spending $4,000 a month. But if you're not taking action, on the leads that are coming in and the phone calls and having a good process in place and a system to keep track of all that, then, you're not going to really see that ROI. Sure, you're going to get some clients coming in every once in a while, but like you're not really truly leveraging and utilizing your time effectively to take your practice to the next level, which is what everybody wants, right? Like that's the reason why people open up a business. They want to take their business to the next level and they want to, succeed in the marketplace and, be the med spa that people want to go to and talk about.
Yeah, no, I get it. So, okay, I want to hammer that home for a second for the audience. You're unique on this show because I know you personally, professionally, and I know you have access to lots of med spas databases. And actually, when you consult with them, when you work with them, and the CRMs that you interact with, you actually can log in and you can see, oh my gosh, this person is taking action. They're logging notes. They're updating statuses on leads. And then you also get clients that I've heard that get frustrated and they're like, hey, we don't, what's happening, or we're not getting any leads. And you physically get on the phone and go in their CRM and can see leads coming in that they haven't taken any action on.
Yeah. Yeah. They haven't done anything. The statuses are still marked as new. There's zero notes. There's, I guarantee they haven't set up any kind of like email marketing and automation and drip campaigns. And there's no process. It's just like a fish flopping out of water. There's no structure to the process of following up and generating clients from the leads that they get.
Yeah, that's a very vulnerable place to be, very risky as a practice owner. Yeah, I mean, you go through the journey. It's like, okay, even like mentally going through the process to say, hey, I'm going to spend money on marketing. I'm going to try Facebook ads. I hear they work. I went to a conference. My colleague does it. She's successful. He's successful. I'm going to run it. Whatever. I'm going to run Google ads. I hear multiple things. I'm going to try it. Like that is an emotional barrier that you've just broken down to
Mm.
actually say, you know what, I'm going to go for it. And then you see them go for it. And then all of a sudden they're not taking action on the leads. Like it's super frustrating because it's hard to set up a campaign, right?
Mm.
Like, and that kind of pivots to my next talking point is what does it take to set up, and let's take the Facebook, Instagram path for a second, like the paid
Mm.
social path. What does it take, Daemien, to set up a successful campaign outside of the conversion factor, the process factor, the lead follow-up, the CRM factor, the EMR factor? Like that is a whole that's a complex process. Can you walk us through that?
The most important factor with the social media ads, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, is the ad copy. And what do I mean by ad copy? I'm talking about content. What is the content that we're using and leveraging for the ads, right? The practice owners that are making their own in-house video content, whether it's educational and informative or just like a testimonial from their clients, a walkthrough of their med spa, like that's the stuff that people want to see. Like they want to see you as the business owner. You need to leverage yourself as the influence, become your own influencer. I tell this all the time to the clients when I meet with them. They need to be their own influencer. Why are influencers so popular on social media? Why do people hire them to promote their products? Well, if you become your own influencer, you don't need to hire anybody. But that's because that's what drives results, right? People love the story, of your journey and your med spa. They don't want to just see before and after images and, pictures of you performing a service on a client, right? They want to know more about you because at the end of the day, right, it's a business. It's about sales. When people buy a product, they're buying the person. They're buying the product from the person itself, right? You have to sell yourself, be that influencer, and kind of like dominate your market. And I know a lot of people don't really like doing it, but I mean, just pick up your phone, start recording yourself, and start talking your audience, your clients. That's what's going to bring people in, that natural, organic content that people can relate to. And if they like you, then you're going to have an easy sale for sure. They're going to reach out to you. They're going to give you a phone call, hit you in your DMs, and want to book an appointment.
Yeah, I love it. Well said. Well said. And what's interesting is you don't need to invest in state of the art equipment, right?
No, no,
In fact, the recent data shows like the cheaper the equipment, the better. It's your phone.
your phone. Yeah,
Organic.
that's all you need is the phone.
Yep.
Everybody has a phone, right? There's nobody in the world that doesn't have a phone, at least not in America.
Yeah. And then
Everyone's
you
got
have CapCut, like download CapCut on your
one.
phone. And then you can just
Yeah.
quickly do a video edit and create like a really cool reel with voiceovers and stuff like that. Okay. So what you're saying, and for the audience, basically like ad copy is huge for paid social. Okay. So now let's say, okay, let's take this practice through the journey. I'm a practice owner. I listened to you. I took your advice. Now have a great video, tells a story, have an offer, and here's my ad. Okay, cool. Here you go. Here's the ad. What's the next step in the formula to success after they've created the ad?
One of the biggest things is, do you have online booking? Do you have a nice system that you can use that's user friendly for your clients to be able to easily book that appointment, right? In this day and age, people don't like communicating with people a whole lot. Sometimes it's hard to text people. Like when my phone rings, if I don't know who it is, I'm not answering it. You know what I mean? A lot of people don't like talking to people. We're kind of introverted in this day and age. So having a good system for people to just go to your website, book an appointment. They already know about you. They've seen your educational video content on the ads that you made. Great ad copy. Now they wanna meet you. So, maybe they don't want to reach out, but they want to just book an appointment with what they want to get done. So having a good EMR system that has a great client experience to allow those people to go further down into your funnel and get them to come in is super important.
I love it. I love it. Okay, so great online booking, great attribution, user friendly. I totally agree. I've seen online booking environments that are very clunky, hard to use, not
Mhm.
user friendly from the consumer based, and they bail. Like it's the whole abandoned cart, right?
Yeah.
Now you've taken the time to create an ad. You're applying ad dollars to it. People are clicking and people are seeing. They're coming into your funnel, and then there's this poor online booking experience. And that's one of the things. I've been such a critic to EMRs to really accelerate their user experience and their user creative path when it comes to development for the online booking, because you're exactly right. I totally agree. So that brings me to the next point. Okay, I've created the ad copy. I have a great online booking. I have a great website. I have a CRM system that can kick off automation. Like, what about actually setting up the campaign inside of Facebook itself? Right? Like in the meat, like what are the successful things if you were to set up the actual campaign? What do you see that proves to be successful?
Knowing your target demographic, knowing your audience, that's huge, right? So like when I meet with clients all over the country, we have hundreds of practices that we work with daily, and they're spread everywhere, from California to New York to Florida to the middle of nowhere, Idaho. It's very important for them and their success to know their demographic, know their target audience, so that when you're going into the campaigns and setting it up, like zip codes, especially with social media, right? Because you're going to get charged for people just looking at the ad. And you don't want to show the ad to, like low income area housing where they can't even afford your services, but, Facebook's charging you for it anyway. So dialing in that targeting and demographic, age groups, knowing, what kind of clientele are more prone to sign up for what service, depending on what service you want to advertise for to get more busy. That's super important and really helpful for us when we're setting up the campaigns, when the clients know their target demographic audience, so we can drive it to those people to get the results that they're looking for.
Yeah, absolutely. Setting up your target audience, guys, is super, super critical. And one call out here that he talked about was zip codes. You can even look at your own practice right now and pretend you're physically standing on site. Well, if you were to look at zip codes around you, there's probably zip codes you want to target and zip codes you do not target, right? You're like, oh,
Mhm.
this is a great zip code. Maybe it's only 5 miles away. And another zip code's 5 miles away. You want to target the one zip code, but not the other because the demographic is different. They're not your ICP. They're not your customer profile, right? So target-based audience campaigns is huge. That's the takeaway for sure. What about lookalike audiences?
Mhm.
Let's say a practice that has a patient base, right? Like, what are the benefits? Like, you can speed that up with Facebook, which is great, and we have
Yeah.
some great
That,
technology that we use for that. So, talk about that.
that was going to be my next point too. Actually, that's even better way to really dial in and target your audience that you're looking for. So with Facebook and Instagram and with Google as well, you can download your existing client base. If you're already kind of an established practice and you're just trying to get to the next level, you can download your existing clients into a CSV file. All you need is their name, phone number, email. You can throw in the address if you really want to, but it's not necessary. And then you can import that into Facebook itself. And what it's going to do is it's going to find these people's profiles because everybody signs up with their phone number or their email or has their name associated with their accounts when they sign up, right? So now what Facebook and Instagram is going to do, the AI and the algorithm with how good it is nowadays, is going to go out, look at all these different people, see what they have in common, and then go and find new people that match that same demographic. And if they're already your existing clients and they've come in to see you, then that's your target audience. That's the perfect target audience for you to look at. And running those campaigns, we typically see the best cost for per lead, the best CPLs with those campaigns. The algorithm is it's nuts nowadays. It's so advanced and it's just getting better every month. So definitely worth the juice for the squeeze for sure.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, that's a great way to accelerate the audience, lower your cost per lead, but so at the same time, guys, you want to maximize your marketing spend, right? So, for example, what we mean by that is if you're going to deploy, let's just make numbers easy. Let's say you're going to deploy capital to marketing, and this deployment, let's just call it $1,000 a month in ad spend, just to make numbers easy. If your average cost per lead, and in the marketing world, CPL, if your CPL, let's make numbers easy, you spend $1,000 and your CPL, let's call it $100, right? How many leads are you going to get? Damien,
You're
how
going
many
to get
leads?
10.
You're going to get 10 leads. And
Yeah.
what is the average conversion on that typically that you
On
see?
social media, typically between 15 and 20%. So you're going to get like 1.5 to 2 new clients.
1.5 to two new clients. So when I
Yeah.
look at that formula, right, I look at that formula right there. I'm like, okay, there's two ways that you can solve this problem. You can either deploy more capital, right? You can increase your ad spend, right? Or you can lower your CPL.
Hmm.
Right now, let's just take the other scenario. Let's cut your CPL in half, right? And the way to cut your CPL in half, guys, is obviously zero in on your targeting, run smart campaigns, like connect with a company that knows what they're doing in aesthetics and works with Facebook on a daily basis. Let's cut that CPL to half. Let's say the CPL is now 50 on the same $1,000 spend. We're now going to get 20 leads, right? Same amount
Yep.
of spend, lower your CPL, same, like double the amount of leads. The conversion rate is the same. Now you're going to get what, 4 new customers if you're at a 20% conversion factor, correct?
Yep. Exactly.
Exactly. Now, the lower and the entire purpose of a great marketer is to lower CPL, right? You lower the CPL. Now, guess what you do, right? You go and increase your ad spend because you're getting a conversion, right? Now, let's tune this up a little bit. Let's take the ad spend, Damien, to $10,000 a month, and then let's look at a CPL. Like, let's just say it's performing extremely well, and we are at let's just make it easy, a $50 CPL on Facebook on a $10,000 spend. How many leads are we getting?
10,000
10,000 spend, $50
out of
CPL.
it, 50, 200 leads. That's 200
200
leads.
leads on a $10,000 spend. Okay, so now we're going to convert. Let's say we're a great converter, 30%. Run the numbers on 30%.
40%, 30%. I mean, that's 60 new clients in a month. Those
60.
60 new clients are going to pay for that 10K. Like you're
Yeah,
going to get that 10K back easy.
100%. I mean, AmSpa came out with the average ticket that customers spend first visit is right around $550. So let's take that math. Let's take 60 times $550.
That's 33K. That's a 3X.
It's a 3x.
Yeah.
There you go. It's a
That's typically
3x.
what we see. We typically see between a 3 and a 4X on most of the campaigns that we run for our clients. That's average. That's Obviously there's outliers, but I'm talking bell curve. That's kind of typically what we see.
Typically what we see, guys, that's a 3x return. So basically what that means is, and we're talking, there's a term out there called ROAS. So if you guys ever hear the term ROAS, it's return on ad spend, right? It's an investment marketing acronym, if you will. But when you're talking to your experts or you guys are going to invest in this category, like have a strategy, have campaigns, know what you're doing, and then have a ROAS number that you're trying to hit. In fact, we've had some practices that have a 7x return.
Yes.
We focus really hard on lowering CPLs. They spend a lot more. They have great copy. They got great landing page, great booking, great follow-up system, right? Because if you take the math on that, Daemien, you take the math on a $10,000 spend and you just turn the dials a little bit. Let's say you have a 50% conversion rate. I mean, you just blew out your ROAS investment.
Oh man.
Right? I mean,
oh yeah.
Let's just say you lower the CPL because the campaign got smarter and smarter. Now the CPL is 25. Right now, that's how you get a 7x return on ROAS.
Oh yeah, you're going to be cranking. You're taking your practice to the next level. You're going to be 1.5, 2 million plus revenue business every year. Next year, you're opening up your second location already. And if you're a single provider, you're hiring new staff frantically because you can't keep up.
Oh, dude, I love it. I love it. I was just at the Aesthetic Next conference in Dallas that just took place. And I was doing some talks on stage. I had the opportunity to speak on stage 3 different times. And there was a story that I wanted to share with the audience. And it resonates well with this conversation. The story was a practice that we have, and I don't want to call out their name, but they happen to be in Texas. That's why I wanted to tell the story. I was in Dallas. They have 3 locations. They're not afraid to spend money on marketing. They hired an industry expert. They have great copy. They have great systems. And I think before I went to that speaking event, the conference, I reached out to you and I said, hey, give me the numbers on this particular customer profile. And I think the numbers, if I remember my slide deck correctly and the data you sent me, they had invested. I was like, hey, give me a historical 90-day run rate. And the run rate was $60,000 spend, $420,000 back in a return on capital. So guys, if I'm an investor, which I am, and that's in a whole other world, but if somebody said, hey, I'm going to give you 60 grand and in 3 months, 90 days, I'm going to give you back 420K, who wouldn't take that deal?
I'm investing all day. You're not getting that return in the stock market. That's for sure.
No, you can't get it in the market that fast, and you can't get it in
No.
the stock market, real estate, crypto, whatever it is. But there's a playbook to it, right? There's a success playbook, and that's the whole purpose. So let's talk about the ROAS. Let's extend on that a little bit because I want to talk about true attribution, something that you and I have been so critical about in the marketplace of running lead gen for so long for practice owners and just pounding on the EMR companies time and time again to get true attribution. And guys, what I mean by attribution is understanding how to get those ROAS dollars. Ad dollar in, return on investment coming back home. So will you walk us through attribution, what that means, how to, how to set it up? You don't have to get too nerdy on us, but talk to us about how fun that conversation is when you're consulting practice owners.
That kind of goes back to our earlier points that we were talking about is having, the right systems in place. And by systems, I mean your tech stack. What is the software that you're using? So the most successful practices that we're able to show true attribution with is when they're using either Zanotti or Boulevard. And then when we're running marketing campaigns to either the website, landing pages, and then we have a link for people to just book directly online. Well, Google Analytics can track the actual dollar amount of those bookings that people have made. And we can go in and see what services they booked for, how many people were adding to cart, how many people actually purchased, so we can get drop-off rates. I mean, there's just a plethora of data in there. And then we can really analyze and break down, okay, this is how much you're spending. This is how much you're getting back. This is what people are paying for. And this is how much they've paid. And then, I mean, it's a no-brainer at that point. They're like, great, let's spend more.
Exactly. Yeah. You can see what services they actually bought.
Yes. Yeah.
It's amazing. It's truly amazing. I just see like, I would bet you, Damien, that there is less than 3% of practice owners actually have it set up correctly.
Oh,
And that's
yeah,
why,
absolutely.
yeah,
No,
that's why, like, you know,
absolutely.
gets a bad name. It's like, oh, I tried Facebook ads and they didn't work. I hear that all the
Mm.
time. I'm like, well, what did you do? Like, talk to me about the process. I don't know. My marketing person set it up. And I'm like, you're not giving me much data to go off of.
Yeah.
Like if you told me that you did this, and this, and it was the playbook that we know for success, okay, like I haven't heard that though. When every time I hear it, either the tech stack is broken, they're not following up with their leads, the ad copy is shitty, or whatever it is, or they just rely on someone on their team to effectively run it. So uh, I agree. Like the other thing too, like you need to test things, right? Like
Yes.
A/B test your ad copy, A/B test your landing pages, have form fills on one, have the booking button on the other. Because if you have form fills on one, that's a landing page that has like your offer, your service, before and afters, testimonials, and they fill out the form. Have that sent into a CRM system that kicks off automated text and automated emails to where they can actually click on the link and book the appointment to follow the attribution to the EMR and then bring it back to the ROI.
Yeah.
Like, oh my
Yeah.
gosh. Um,
Absolutely.
yeah,
And
like guys,
the other thing that I really wish more practices would invest in also is call tracking. There's software programs out there like CallRail where you can connect your Facebook account, your Google Analytics, your Google Ads, and it will literally record the phone call conversations for you and then transcribe it so you can see, how is your front staff talking to these people? Are they being a salesperson? Because they're not just a secretary at the front desk booking appointments. They're trying to sell clients to book appointments at the end of the day. And so having that call tracking set up where they can go through and look at the phone calls, coach their staff, train their staff, teach them how to be a salesperson is massive. And you can even put the dollar amount. So when people book an appointment from the phone calls generated from the ads, you can, again, back to attribution, you can track that attribution. How much was the appointment that they booked worth? Now we can go back, look at your ROAS, and let's start spending more money to make you more money. Dollar in, 4 or 5 out.
yep. And you can track how long they're on the phone, right?
Yes. Yeah. Track how long the phone call was with the phone number, their name, like all of that stuff. It's huge. Like leveraging, if you're not leveraging technology in this day and age, I don't know what you're doing as a business owner, honestly.
Yeah. And guys, like all of this comes from passion. It comes from passion because, like, truly, I want to see everybody be a successful entrepreneur. That if you take
Mm.
the time to tune into the episode, and like, it's one thing to listen to Damien and I talk about it, and maybe like there's some frustration that comes out or passion that comes out. It's because we care. It truly is because we care. And there's a way to do it correctly, and there's a way to do it incorrectly. And after like being in the industry for so long, we've seen so many stories. I could basically tell you, like, if somebody wants to do a campaign, before even setting up the campaign, I could say that that's not going to work. It's going to fail. Like we've seen it, like, and so we have the playbook. And so I'd encourage you guys to, if you are running ads or you have ran ads or you are considering running ads, like take the time to analyze your process, your tech stack, your ad spend, your ROAS, your lead flow, your funnel, test things, like look at the attribution efforts. So super, super important. Okay. That being said, let's pivot for a sec. I want to talk about, there's two components I want to talk about on Google, right? So Google is a phenomenal place to market. People go to the internet and they search for products and services and treatments and conditions that they are wanting, needing, that you guys provide. You need to hang out where your audience hangs out, like Facebook, Instagram, Google, of course, like TikTok. But people go to Google and they conduct a search, and hopefully you're being found, right? So talk to us a little bit about like pay-per-click campaigns when it comes to Google and how effective they are, how important they are. Do the most successful practices run Google Ads, or is that a myth?
No, they absolutely. The best success we see is from clients that run Google Ads in tandem with their social media as well to leverage the data that they collect from the Google ads to run retargeting campaigns on social media. When people hit your website, maybe, they're just looking around and they're not interested. Next time they open up their phone and go on Instagram, boom, you hit them with another ad again. Like, you're trying to draw them back in. That's super important. The other thing is you have to understand, like, the platform, right? When somebody's going to Google, they're already thinking about something. That's why they're searching for it. They're looking for it, and they have that intent, and they're just trying to find out, where's the best place I can go to get this done. So what else is involved in that? Your Google My Business profile. People, especially in the medical industry, whether it's, dental, med spa, plastic surgery, whatever it is, they want to look at your reviews. They want to look at how far away you are. They want to know what hours and days you're open. And they might even want to peruse your website. But even if they don't, they want to make a phone call. So they're going to click on your profile and give you a call. And you can incorporate the pay-per-click search campaigns with your Google My Business profile to make sure that your profile shows up sponsored at the top of the maps on the business list compared to everybody else in your area. It's a very underutilized system for ad campaigns on Google that, if you're doing that, you're already ahead of your competition by like 70% because most people aren't leveraging that side of Google.
I totally agree, man. I see it all the time. In fact, I see practice owners, med spas that have a great Google business profile, Google My Business.
Mm-hmm.
They've just changed the name recently for the audience. It's Google Business Profile is the one they'll be going forward with. So if you hear me say that, understand I'm also talking about Google My Business. You set it up well, you have good services, you have the name, address, phone number, hours of operation. You have good reviews. But then you're not applying ad dollars to be at the top, right? So the cool thing about this, guys, is like where I'm physically located right now recording this, I'm in Florida. If I go to my phone and I search med spa near me, Google's going to serve up the closest med spa near me. That's how it works. That's how it wants to map what I'm asking. It wants to give me the best relative information. However, if you apply ad dollars to that, right, it actually will serve up a practice on before the practice that is closest to me because that person's investing ad dollars. So now check this out, guys. You have great review ratings, great review count, great Google My Business profile or Google Business profile setup. And now you apply ad dollars to it. What do you think they're going to do? You're the top one on the list. You have great reviews and you're easy to get a hold of. They're going to pick you. They may not even go to the one below because they're looking, review count. Okay, cool. They're right there at the top. And they select that one time and time again. And those things convert so well.
They generate a ton of phone calls. They truly do. Because, that's what most people are going to do when they're looking for a med spa. And, when I've gotten tattoos done or when I've gone to a dental place, you better believe if somebody's messing with my body, I'm going to a place that has good reviews, right? You're messing with me. I don't want to go somewhere where they're going to jack me up, and then I'm going to have to pay somebody else to fix it later. So leveraging that and having that as part of your business is critical. And then that would bring me to another point that's super important is making sure you have a reputation management tool, right? To help get you to that point where you can leverage that part of your business. If you're a newer practice just starting off, incentivize your clients to leave you a review. Tell them hey, if you can leave a review today, I'll give you 10% off any service next time you come in, or maybe $50 off or $100 off, just some kind of incentive, or maybe give them a gift card. You can get pretty creative with that, but try to build up that review list and leverage different tools like Growth 99 Plus. We have our own reputation management software that you guys can use. And there's other softwares out there too. So leverage those tools and technology and elevate your profile to the top. And then when you run campaigns to it, you're just going to be on another level compared to everybody else in your area.
Totally, man. I was on a call actually earlier this morning with a practice that does $7 million a year. They've been in business quite a while. Very profitable business, knows her numbers, super sharp, and she wants to get to 10 million. And so we analyzed their current situation, literally $0 invested on marketing. When it comes to digital marketing, right? I think they have a billboard or they send out some emails and stuff like that. They have a decent organic social, but I started getting into the conversation with her and talking more about, if we weren't on the phone call, what would you do to get to 10 million? What's your strategy? And she didn't really have a strategy. It was just like, I hope that more people come in the door. I'm like, well, you're under investing, dramatically in marketing. You should be spending at minimum 5% of your top line revenue. So on a $7 million practice, 10% of that would be 700 grand a year. She should be investing at least 350 grand a year. And, if you take that 350 grand a year and you put a ROAS, button to it, like, I'm like, here's the playbook. And
Mm.
we're going to create, like, the playbook for her was obviously great ad copy. Like, don't be, shy to invest in marketing. You have the budget, you have the EBITDA, you have it there. And here's a strategy. Here's here's a CRM system, whatever it is. But we set up the playbook for her, and, she's going to achieve the results that she's looking for. I was blown away that she, has not invested in marketing. And this, they've been in business a long time, and they have a great patient base and great retention. But it's just like this goal in her mind that she wants to hit that $10 million mark. And that's the playbook. Like, we need to invest where your audience hangs out, and then we need to tie that back to attribution. We need to test things. We need to see what ad copy is working, which is not working. Make sure make sure the ads don't get ad fatigue. Change your ads up,
Yeah.
right? And just do quality control on that. So I'm excited about that opportunity specifically. I wanted to call that out, but I couldn't believe, like, one thing I was looking at on our Google business profile, she had like 162 reviews. Which is a lot, but on a $7 million practice that's been in business for like 15 years, I would expect a lot more.
Yeah.
Right?
Oh,
What
yeah.
she has to do is, like, go into her database and send out a mass email or mass text to her massive list of patients. And I bet
Yeah.
she could get to 500 in the next 7 days.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And then leveraging that with that kind of ad spend, even if she spent, 5% of her total revenue, she would completely dominate the impression share on the search results too. Nobody in her area could touch her, and she would easily get to that 10 million within a short time frame. Definitely by the end of next year. Before then,
Dude, you know what? She was reluctant too. She's like, I don't know. She was reluctant. And I said, well, what's the other avenue? Like, what's the strategy if we're not going to invest in marketing and we've kind of maximized our word of mouth referral, patient base? Like, what is the strategy? And, like, it took I had to kind of peel back the layers a little bit, more like an onion type approach.
hmm.
But she'll get there. She wants to start at some level and then continue to grow. But, the ones that I see that truly invest and do it correctly are the ones that continue to capture market share. It's unfortunate, really, Daemien, that there's people out there that have tried. Maybe they've dabbled in paid search
Mm.
and they haven't set it up effectively, and so they just completely throw it out. Like, completely throw it out.
Yeah.
One practice that comes up to mind, I'll give you another one here. One that very close to my heart. I've worked with them for many, many years, back since like 2017. I recorded this in 24. So a long time, and they've never once invested in ads. They have great SEO. They have great word of mouth. They have a very powerful social following. In fact, one of the owners is pretty well known at a national level. They're on, just a little hint, Real Housewives. There you go. But they are reluctant to invest in Facebook and Instagram and Google ads because they had a bad experience the first go around. I have no idea who they're working with, not a clue. Maybe they tried it. But again, I look at that as like, that was so long ago and they were dabbling.
Uh,
They dabbled, didn't like it, bad taste in their mouth, moved on, never tried it again. And then if you look from 2017 to 2024, how many practices do you think have opened up?
oh, tons. And I bet a lot of them are advertising too.
Yes.
One of the stories I love to tell new clients and people that are hesitant about advertising and marketing, I tell the story of, everybody watches the Super Bowl every year. You know what? I can guarantee that I'm going to see during the Super Bowl commercials, I'm going to see those Coca-Cola polar bears, right?
Yeah.
Every year. And how much money do they have to spend for that 30-second window? I think last year the numbers were like $7 to $8 million.
Oh, it's
right?
great.
So you're telling me that Coca-Cola doesn't think it's profitable to spend $7 or $8 million on a little 30-second window? It's
Yep.
absolutely profitable and worth it. That's why they do it. You got the Budweiser draft horses. Even without the Super Bowl, you still see commercials for McDonald's on TV. Everybody in the world knows who McDonald's is since they're 5 years old, but they still run ads and they still market and advertise. They
Yep.
wouldn't do it if it wasn't beneficial, right? And so it
100%.
doesn't matter how big or small you are, you need to market and advertise. Otherwise, how are people going to know you and find
Oh,
you?
you nailed that, dude. You absolutely nailed that because these are big, powerful companies that continue to invest in marketing. And
Mm,
there's, like the last thing I kind of want to put a bow on this for the audience, you guys, is I have analyzed so many practices over the years. And truly, I will say this with absolute confidence that the most successful practices are the best marketers. Truly. Like you have to be a great marketer. Now, when you combine that or compound that, if you will, with MarTech, with marketing automation systems and attributions and good copy, and be disciplined and consistent about it, holy shit, dude, magic happens. Like the fireworks go off.
Grant Cardone's quote, he said, it's not who has the best product, it's who has the best marketing that's going to make the most money, right?
Yep.
He quotes that all the time.
Yep. And you have to know how to sell, right? Like
Yeah,
that's a component to it that I'm becoming a very big fan of is for the practice owners, invest in sales training. Like literally, I know that you guys go to a lot of conferences, some of you more so than others, but a lot of the tracks that I see practice owners go to is the clinical tracks, which, hey, I don't want to discredit that at all. Like learn the craft, learn a new technique. Like I totally get it. Invest in yourself. But why not take the time to invest in the business side, right? Like go, like maybe join a local mastermind that's 100% about business. Go to all the like maybe your next conference, just go to all the business tracks or shoot. Terry Ross is putting on a new conference and
mm,
that one coming up in Fort Lauderdale. The whole track is about business. And man, I give that woman so much credit because like the industry desperately needs it, and the people that take it seriously, those are the ones that are going to continue to make market share. Take it from the other potential competition, and they're going to continue to thrive and have success.
absolutely. I would definitely recommend the audience, you guys listening in, research and study and learn from these people that are great salesmen and business people, right? Like Grant Cardone, Gary Vaynerchuk, Robert Kiyosaki, read their books, listen to the Audible book when you're driving or at the gym or something like that, absorb their content and their knowledge, and it will just improve your business tenfold.
100%. I mean, it's there. You can get it on podcast now, Audible. It's crazy how fast we can get information this day and age. Um,
Absolutely.
Well, hey man, I know that you're super busy. I really appreciate you coming on the show. This is the first time I've actually had an internal colleague on the show, so I want to thank you for everything you do for practice owners. Always leveling up, always learning new techniques, consistently talking with Facebook and Google. I know how big of a nightmare that is, and deploying that knowledge back to the provider and the practice owner, and ultimately the patient themselves gets to experience building confidence and happiness for themselves because they found somebody that understands aesthetics and wellness. And what the practice owner does is ultimately change lives for these patients, which is truly inspiring. So, like, if you go full circle here, investing in marketing and working with somebody that knows what they're doing, not only are you improving your business, but you're changing more people's lives, including your own. Like it's pretty powerful. I'll leave it at that, guys. Hopefully, you guys found this valuable. Hopefully, you found this episode and this content just amazing. I wanted to record this for some time now. So, thank you so much for tuning in. Daemien, thank you so much for joining. If you guys want to learn more on how to run successful ad campaigns, you can obviously reach out to Daemien. I think the best way to go to him is what's the website, Daemien?
Growth99.com.
Got it. Just curious. Uh, I typically don't call out Growth 99 too much on the podcast because it's truly about education. But in this case, Daemien and his team truly do know what they're doing, and they want to help practice owners thrive and survive, especially during crazy times that we have in the economy, whether you're thriving or want to thrive or want to get into the space. So, guys, if you found this episode and this content valuable, my only ask is that you share it. Share it with your colleagues, share it with your friends, share it with your team, rate it. Please rate it. Like, give it a review, an honest review. We want to level up our game. We want to continue to provide value for you guys. No one's paying us to do this stuff. We do this out of the kindness of our hearts, and we want to see everybody succeed. So I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. Until next time, happy injecting.
Cool. Thanks, Cameron.